India and Pakistan. Two nations eternally linked, they share a history, a culture, even a love for spicy food. But good God, don't ever say that out loud because these two have been at each other's throats since the moment they were born. We're talking 4 major wars, countless skirmishes, and enough nukes pointed at each other to make the Cold War look like a friendly snowball fight. But why? Was it just some religious squabble? Or is there something more, something darker, simmering beneath the surface? Buckle up because today, we're diving headfirst into the 10 real reasons behind this decades-long rivalry. And trust me, some of this shit will blow your mind. Alright, let's rewind the clock back to 1947. After centuries of British rule, India finally gets its independence. But there's a catch, because of course there is. The Brits, in their infinite wisdom, decided to carve up the country like a Thanksgiving turkey. Overnight, 2 nations emerged. India, with a Hindu majority, and Pakistan, for the Muslims. Sounds simple, right? Well, tell that to the millions of people who were suddenly on the wrong side of the border. We're talking mass migrations, families torn apart, and violence on a scale that's difficult to even comprehend. Over 1 million people were slaughtered in the ensuing chaos, Hindus and Muslims alike. It was a bloodbath, a traumatic birth that left both nations scarred and suspicious of each other. This, my friends, was the original sin, the wound that never truly healed. And speaking of wounds that never heal, let's talk about Kashmir, shall we? This mountainous region with its stunning beauty has become a tragic pawn in the India-Pakistan rivalry. See, when the borders were drawn, Kashmir was given a choice. Join India or Pakistan. Problem was, the ruler was Hindu, while the majority of the population was Muslim. Decisions. Well, the ruler chose India, sparking outrage in Pakistan, and thus began the first of 3 wars fought over this disputed territory. Today, Kashmir remains a volatile powder keg, divided by a heavily militarized line of control. Both countries claim it as their own, and the constant threat of conflict hangs over the region like a dark cloud. It's a territorial dispute with no easy answers, a Gordian knot that no one seems able to untangle. You know what they say, whiskey is for drinking, water is for fighting over. And in the case of India and Pakistan, that couldn't be more true. You see, Pakistan gets a lot of its water from rivers that flow through India, most importantly, the Indus. In 1960 they signed a treaty to share the precious resource, but that hasn't stopped things from getting heated. India, with its growing population and water needs, keeps building dams upstream, which Pakistan sees as a threat to its very survival. Every time India builds a new dam, tensions flare up. It's a classic case of upstream versus downstream, and it's only going to get more contentious as climate change makes water even scarcer. Chapter 4, 1971, the war that changed everything. Fast forward to 1971 and things go from bad to worse. East Pakistan, separated from its western half by 1,000 miles of India, erupts in a brutal civil war. Pakistan cracks down hard and millions flee across the border into India, creating a humanitarian crisis. India, already pissed off at Pakistan for, well, everything we've already talked about, decides to intervene. The result? A swift and humiliating defeat for Pakistan, leading to the creation of Bangladesh. Oh, and did I mention the 93,000 Pakistani soldiers taken prisoner by India? Yeah, that happened. The 1971 war was a turning point, deepening the animosity between the two countries and leaving scars that still haven't faded. Chapter 5. Terror in the shadows. Now let's talk about the T-word terrorism. This is where things get really messy. India accuses Pakistan of harboring and supporting militant groups that launch attacks on Indian soil. And they've got a point. The 2008 Mumbai attacks, anyone? A group of Pakistani militants rampaged through the city, killing over 160 people. India was furious, and rightfully so. Pakistan, of course, denies any involvement, blaming it on non-state actors. But the evidence suggests otherwise. This tit-for-tat violence, this constant fear of the other, has become a tragic part of life for both nations. Chapter 6. Nuclear standoff, playing with fire. As if things weren't terrifying enough, both India and Pakistan decided to become members of the nuclear club. In 1998, they conducted tit-for-tat nuclear tests, sending shockwaves across the globe. And then in 1999 they almost blew each other up for real. Pakistani troops infiltrated the Kargil region of Kashmir, leading to a tense military standoff. The world watched in horror as these two nuclear-armed neighbors went to war, once again. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, and a full-blown nuclear exchange was averted. But the Kargil conflict was a stark reminder of just how high the stakes are in this rivalry. Chapter 7. Siachen, the Pointless War. Ever heard of the Siachen Glacier? Probably not, unless you're a mountaineer or a military historian. It's the highest battlefield on Earth, a desolate, frozen wasteland where India and Pakistan have been fighting for decades, and for what? A few thousand square miles of ice and rock that's strategically insignificant. Thousands of soldiers have died in this pointless conflict, not from enemy fire, but from the brutal conditions, altitude sickness, frostbite, avalanches. It's a perfect example of the absurdity of war, a frozen monument to stubborn pride and pointless sacrifice. Of course, no conflict would be complete without a healthy dose of propaganda. And in the case of India and Pakistan, the media on both sides are masters of the craft. Newspapers, TV channels, even Bollywood films all contribute to a toxic narrative of fear and distrust. Pakistanis are portrayed as bloodthirsty terrorists, while Indians are depicted as Hindu fanatics. The truth, as always, is far more nuanced. But nuance doesn't sell newspapers or get people riled up, hate does. And so the cycle of fear and suspicion continues, fueled by a media machine that profits from division. And as if things weren't complicated enough, we also have to factor in the proxy wars. India accuses Pakistan of supporting separatist movements in places like Balochistan. Pakistan, in turn, accuses India of doing the same in their own backyard. It's a shadowy world of spies, insurgents, and covert operations, where the truth is often buried under layers of deception. Both sides deny any involvement, of course. But the reality is that these proxy conflicts only serve to further inflame tensions and make any kind of lasting peace impossible. And finally, we come to the present day, where the India-Pakistan rivalry is being reshaped by the rise of China and the shifting sands of global power. China, with its Belt and Road Initiative, has invested billions in Pakistan, building ports and infrastructure. India, meanwhile, has strengthened its ties with the United States, much to China's chagrin. The result is that the India-Pakistan conflict is no longer just a regional affair. It's become a proxy battleground in the new Cold War between the US and China. And as these global superpowers flex their muscles, finding a peaceful resolution to the India-Pakistan conflict becomes even more challenging. It's a geopolitical chess match, and the pawns, as always, are the people caught in the middle. So there you have it, the 10 reasons behind the India-Pakistan conflict. It's a messy, complicated story full of tragedy, mistrust, and missed opportunities. But amidst all the darkness, there are glimmers of hope. People-to-people initiatives, cultural exchanges, and even the occasional cricket match offer a reminder that these two nations are not so different after all. The road to peace will be long and arduous, but it's a journey worth taking. What do you think? Is there a way out of this quagmire? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating conflicts. Host, this conflict isn't just history, it's about identity, resources, and geopolitics. But hope isn't lost. Trade, art, and people-to-people ties still fight the hate. What's your solution? Comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and explore our other deep dives. Until next time, stay curious.